Hi everyone, welcome to this channel World Knowledge. Today I am here to share the full timeline for the recent crackdown or anti-government protest in Iran. The streets are full of blood. Iranian protests gather momentum as regime crackdown. Demonstrators recount experience on the front line as protest movement rapidly moves beyond government's control. Thousands of people are feared death after a crackdown on anti-government protests in Iran. As Iranians describe terrible level of death and destruction in their first calls to family abroad in days. Third week of protest. More than 500 protesters in Iran have been killed and almost 11,000 people have been arrested as anti-government protests continue. A US-based rights group said an internet blackout, which also is impacting mobile phone calls, has lasted for 4 days. There are also the funding pressure. The US administration is under pressure to step up its effort to support internet freedom after it cut funding last year. US tariffs. President Trump said countries that do business with Tehran will face a new 25% tariff. The announcement appears to mean goods from China, a major trading partner of both Iran and the US, would become significantly more expensive to import. Diplomacy. Iran earlier said it's ready to talk with the US, but it's prepared for war. Iran's foreign minister has communicated in recent days with Trump's special investigative Witkoff. An Iranian security official tells news agencies that the death toll could be around 2,000 people. One protesters will reportedly be executed tomorrow, with a human rights group saying they have never witnessed a case move on quickly. Demonstrations have been ongoing for the week. State media reports protest calmed last night. After these recent crackdown, US President Donald Trump says the countries doing business with Iran will face a 25% tariff on trade with the US. His national security team is expected to meet later to discuss intervention options. The US President has already been briefed on a range of military and convert tools his country could use. While some people in Iran are now able to call people outside the country, an ongoing internet blackout is making it difficult to verify information from the inside. Now I will share the complete timeline from December 28. These demonstrations broke out in Iran on December 28 and have spread nationwide as protesters vent their increasing discontent over the Islamic Republic faltering economy and the collapse of its currency. Dozens of people have been killed, thousands arrested as the daily protests have grown. Government seeks to contain them, while the initial focus had been on issues like spikes in prices of food staples and country's staggering annual inflation rate. Protesters have now begun chanting anti-government statement as well. Here there is the full timeline. First of all, it was started on December 28. Protesters break out in two major markets in downtown Tehran after the Iranian rial plunged to 1.42 million to the US dollar, a new record low, compounding inflation pressure and pushing up to the prices of food and other daily necessities. The government had raised prices for nationally subsiding gasoline in early December, increasing discontent. On December 29, Central Bank head Mohammad Reza Farzan resigns as the protests in Tehran spread to other cities. Police fired tear gas to disperse these protesters in the capital. On December 30, a protest spread to include more cities as well as several university campuses. Iranian President Massoud meets with a group of business leaders to listen to their demands and pledged his administration will not spare any effort for solving the problems with the economy. On December 31, Iran appoints Abdul Ansar Hementi as the country's new central bank governor. Officials in southern Iran say that protests in the city of Fasa turned violent after crowds broke into their governor office and injured police officers. Now, on January 1, the protesters' first fatalities are officially reported, with authorities saying at least 7 people have been killed. The most intense violence appeared to be in Azna, a city in Iran's Lorestan province, where video posted online to show objects in the street, applause and gunfire ensuing as people shouted, "Shameless, shameless." The semi-official Fox News agency reports three people were killed, other protesters are reportedly killed, while 21 years old volunteer in the paramilitary Revolutionary Guards forces were killed in Lorestan on January 2. US President Donald Trump praises these attacks, writing on his Truth social media platform, "If Iran violently kills peaceful protesters, the United States will come to their rescue." This warning only months after American forces bombed Iran nuclear sites. These were bombing started the last year. On January 3, Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei says reactors must be put in their place in what is seen as a green light for security forces to begin more aggressively putting down demonstration. Protests expand to more than 170 locations in 25 provinces, with at least 15 people killed and 580 arrested. On January 6, protesters conduct a sit-in at Tehran's Grand Bazaar until security forces disperse them using tear gas. Here, the death toll rises to 36, including two members of Iranian security forces. Here, the protest reached over 280 locations in 27 of Iran's 31 provinces on January 8. Following a call from Iran's exiled crown prince, a mass of people shout from their windows and take the streets in an overnight protest. The government responded by blocking the internet and international telephone calls in a bid to cut off the country of 85 million from outside influence. On January 9, Iran signals a crackdown is coming, but protesters again demonstrate. The violence was spreading and the people there were killed, almost the number 65. More than 300 people were injured. On January 10, the protest reached the 2-week mark as the death toll reached at least 116 people killed. Iran's Attorney General Mohammad Mohammadi Azad warns that anyone taking part in protest will be considered an enemy of God or death penalty charges. On January 11, Trump says that Iran proposed negotiation after his threat to strike the Islamic Republic over its bloody crackdown, targeting the demonstrators there. Now, on January 12, Iran holds pro-government demonstration that drew tens of thousands of people to the streets as the death toll rises to at least 646. So basically, it was the timeline for till now. Soon I will be there for the more videos, more info about this condition. Till then, take care of yourself.